ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। The second Mundaka and the second section of that second Mundaka indicates that supreme reality, Brahman, with various pointers, and also it gives out the way, the technique with the analogy of a bow and arrow hitting the target, as to how a seeker, a practitioner of meditation, is to guide his mind, his attention, to move towards that supreme self, which is his or her true identity, and merge into it. After that indication, again that supreme was pointed out with few other words, and repeatedly the Guru is instructing the Shishya that know that self, that alone needs to be known, that one has to be known. Because the question was also, what is that one knowing which everything of this is known? And at the end of the sixth mantra that we saw last, the Guru also felt that now there is nothing more to be instructed. So, Swasti Vafparaya Tamasaf Parastat, he blessed the student May you succeed. May your path be auspicious. May your journey and goal be a very fruitful event. So that way he has blessed. And in that he says, Tamasaf Parastat. May you go beyond all darkness, beyond all ignorance. Now, this may you go beyond darkness, so that is where the Guru wants the student to reach. But where is that? Where does he have to reach? Now, if we say that, may you reach your destination successfully, if somebody wishes us. Now, I say, but where is that destination? Which place, which direction, how long will it take? So, that here it has been indicated earlier also, and here again with few more beautiful pointers, it is indicated that where is it that I have to reach? You are wishing me well, but to reach where? So in the seventh mantra, the Guru says, Yas sarvajñas sarvavit सर्वविद यस्यैष महिमा भुवि यस्यैष महिमा भुवि दिव्ये ब्रह्मपुरे ह्येष दिव्ये ब्रह्मपुरे ह्येष व्योम्न्यात्मा प्रतिष्ठितः व्योम्न्यात्मा प्रतिष्ठितः मनोमयः प्राणशरीरनेता शरीरनेता प्रतिष्ठितोऽन्ये हृदयं सन्निधाय प्रतिष्ठितोऽन्ये हृदयं सन्निधाय तद्विज्ञानेन परिपश्यन्ति धीराः तद्विज्ञाने परिपश्यन्ति धीराः आनन्दरूपममृतं यद्विभाति आनन्दरूपममृतं यद्विभाति. That Supreme Self which is my identity, that Supreme Consciousness, Yah, the one who is Sarvajñah Sarvavit. So these are all pointers. Sarvajñah Sarvavit. Sarvajñah, all-knowing. Sarvavit, all-knowing. Why two words? Now these two words exactly in this order have come in the first section itself, where it was indicated, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji has very clearly explained, Sarvajñah, when we say, when these two words are used together, although both mean all-knowing only, but when we say Sarvajñah, we have to understand all knowing everything in general. Sarvavit means everything in detail, in particular also he knows. Because we also may say, yeah, I know everything. Means anybody, I want to speak to them when I am traveling on a flight, somebody is on my next to me, and then we start conversing, what are you doing and all. Any field may be there. There are some people who can talk about any field. So in general, they know a few things here and there, they have read or heard or something, and then they are good enough to speak and have a conversation. The general understanding, general knowledge of everything. Overall, I know, I understand. So that is one type of thing. There also, no human being can claim that I know in general everything. I may know in general few things. Even there are quizzes held, general knowledge. Now, general knowledge is such a vast thing. So nobody can claim that I know everything. So in general knowledge also, if there are two people in the team, they distribute these fields, these subjects you take and these subjects are, it is general knowledge. Still, there are divisions and all. Everybody cannot know everything because human intellect is limited. But that general knowledge is not just what Ishvara is all about. Ishvara means that Brahman who is associated with that Maya, infinite potential. That Brahman, he Sarvajñah, knows everything in general. Sarvavit, and knows everything in particular also. So that is what that Ishvara is. So he knows that yes, there are so many jivas and they are all going through this samsara, and there are a lot of different kinds of experiences and they are progressing. Sometimes they are falling, then getting up, again walking. In general, yes. But this particular jiva, his history, his background, what is he doing now, that also. At this moment, this jiva, what is he thinking? He's sitting in the class, but where is his mind? Ishvara knows. Because he is the illuminator of every mind. He is the illuminator of every sense. He is the illuminator of every experience. So, yes, Sarvajnaha, Sarvavit, the one who is all knowing in general and all knowing in particular. Yasya Esha Mahima Bhuvi. And his Mahima, his glory is there everywhere. What is his glory? Here Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji has taken it up in detail. And he says, what is this glory that we are talking about? Kaha Sau Mahima. So he says, what is his glory? Now, all this is not anything new. In this Upanishad itself, all these points have been indicated earlier in mantras. But he's saying, what is this Mahima? So he says that his glory means what? All these different worlds, the Swargaloka and the interspace and this Bhuloka and all the other lokas, all of them, they are all under his control, under his rule. That is the glory. Means it is he who is the substratum of this entire world. Not just the worlds, but also the worlds are illumined by various luminaries like the sun, the moon, the fire. All these luminaries are also functioning as per his will. In other Upanishads, we will see these kind of things where the Guru tells the Shishya, what is the glory of that Brahman? He says that he is doing nothing, but in his presence everything is happening, and it is poetically so beautifully expressed. He says that he is as though standing there with a weapon in his hand or a stick in his hand. You know, when a stick in his hand and somebody is standing there, people are like, oh, he's there, we have to sincerely work. So he says that the sun rises on time, the wind blows, all the natural forces, everything is functioning as per their way they have to function. That way, everything is being followed to the extent that in Kathopanishad, Yamraja says that even death, that is I, even death also runs to reach at the right time. Why? Ordained by that. What does it mean? That it is that sentiency because of which even all these macrocosmic forces are functioning. And if macrocosmic forces are functioning because of that sentiency, that consciousness, then what to talk of our makeup, our setup, microcosm? Of course, he is the substratum. Without him, nothing happens. He is the one because of which everything happens. So he's saying all the lokas, all the realms of experience is under his control. His rule goes on. Same way, all the luminaries also are going on. He's saying that under his rule, even the sun and the moon, they go round and round in this whole space, like we have those sparklers. In Diwali and all, we light sparklers, and then with those sparklers, when we move round and round, so like that, these sun and all are moving in space. Now we say sun doesn't move, it is earth is moving. Yes, with respect to earth, sun doesn't move. But the entire solar system is moving in the galaxy. That our rishis knew long, long ago before even the scientists of the modern times discovered this. So they are all like the sparklers moving. The example of a microcosm for a macrocosmic event. What a beautiful thing. So whenever we light the sparklers in next time in Diwali, if we remember this, our mind is instantly elevated to that level of, oh, the sun and the moon also are moving about in space just like this. And like I, the sentient being, am moving it similarly, that consciousness endowed with that infinite potential Maya is moving. So if we look at it from that perspective, completely the mind is elevated. He's saying all the rivers, the ocean, everything everything is moving and they don't cross their boundaries under his rule. That is his glory. Yasya isha mahima bhuvi. Then all the immovable things like mountains, trees, etc., they are all still because of him. And those which move from place to place like animals, birds, humans, etc., they are able to move because of him. And that all under his control as he wants. Not just that, even time. So various units of time, whether it is years, whether it is seasons, whether it is the fortnights, whether it is weeks, day, night, everything functions in order. It is because of him. And with respect to actions, the doer, the action itself, and the result, all this is ordained because of him. Otherwise, just imagine if this order was not there. Somebody is doing some karma and someone else gets its result. It is so much possible. Here, the order is so well managed that even when this body is dropped off, the jiva gets the result in the next birth, wherever that jiva is born. And not just on earth, anywhere else the jiva is born, the result goes there only. What order, what a system, flawless completely. And here for us, sometimes we conduct a small little exam and then we have to issue an apology note. Sorry, the papers got mixed up and the results are mixed up. We will re-evaluate and republish the result. Sorry for the inconvenience. And by that time, some people who thought they will fail, they got 80% mark and they are celebrated. They've already done parties and everything, and now they get this apology note. This is the mismanagement we are in. So we have all these limitations, mistakes happen, but look at the system at this level. What flawless system. Nothing goes wrong. If I have committed some karma, good or bad, whatever it may be, the result is bound to come only to me, the jiva. Even if the body is dropped, I go further somewhere. It is stored, kept ready. Whenever I am ready to go through the result is presented to me. Here, this is yours. When did I do this? I don't know. You have done this long ago. It is yours. You have to go through it. What system? This is his glory. And if we think about it, if gurus like Shankaracharya ji or Puja Gurudev do not explain these kind of words, we will just take these we are already taking these kind of things for granted so much. We say, yes, of course, that is how it's supposed to be. If we think about it, what all could go wrong, could have gone wrong. We say the earth is rotating, going round and round on its own axis and also revolving around the sun. No, so much of movement is happening. Every day it is taking one full round, if we think about it, what if there was no gravitation rationing? Gravity is rationed, that you have to buy, recharge your gravity. What will happen? If we think, we say, this is all funny thought. It is not funny. Yes, it is funny, no doubt, I'm not. But the point is, what if that happened? We are taking it for granted that gravity is there. So I jumped confidently. Suddenly, Bhagwan, there is no gravity, switch it off. And somebody jumps, goes, launched like a rocket. Where will I go back? No going back now. You are in space, floating. Why? Go on. So we take everything for granted. So many things are happening in order. And if we think about it, we say that, the Upanishad and all, it is all matter of knowledge. There is no devotion. So much of devotion. Just this word Mahima, the glory. What is this glory? And having understood this glory, how can one not feel grateful? And how much gratitude do we have? And even if we have, do we express it? What do we do to express it? Do we feel that all this is in order because of someone who is the ordiner? Everything is following a system. So beautiful. Both in the macrocosmic world and in the microcosmic world. In our individuals or in our body, what miracles are happening. We put anything and it is all digested. And we don't have to do anything for that. We don't have to sit down and, what are you doing? I'm digesting my food. I will join you after half an hour. No, we don't have to do anything. We just eat and sleep. And it's happening. And we are eating something. But it is all getting converted into all these things. So what is this? This is all food only. How is it happening? We are just taking it for granted. No problem. And that is why we eat junk also, even from junk. The same blood, etc. As much as possible, the body is doing all that is possible. So this is the Mahima. Whether in individual or total level, this glory, and this glory is of that consciousness, without which nothing can function. And it is there all over, everywhere. Mahima Bhuvi. Divye Brahmapure Vyomni Atma Pratishthitah Eshah. This Eshah Atma. See, this is very interesting. The first line said the two words Sarvajna, Sarvavit, and one who is glorious. All this is his glory. And then second line, the word for that same consciousness used is Atma. Atma means self. Self means I. So who is this? Who is enlivening everything, having everything under control? Whether total or individual, it is the self, I. Here also we find that first line relates to the totality, second line relates to the individuality, and saying the consciousness that is the substratum of the total and the illuminator of the individual, both are one and the same. Eshatma. Where is he available? Brahmapure. Brahmapura. This Pura is name of cities also. Pura means city. There are so many Puras. So here, Brahmapura. Oh, Brahmapura, some new place. There is a place called Brahmapura also. But here, it is not talking about that geographical location. Brahmapura means there where Brahman can be recognized or contacted. Does not mean that he is only there. Pratishtitaha, we have seen this already. It is not that Brahman is available means he is present only there. He is present everywhere. He took the example of the milk in the cow and government of the land, both Gurudev's examples. So, this self can be contacted in Brahmapura means here what it means is the heart space. Vyomni. Vyomni means in space. In space means it is not outer space, it is the inner space of the heart. What earlier was said, Guha Charam Nama, the one who is in the cave of the heart, and here he is taking, here what is said is space of the heart. Brahmapure Vyomni. And what is that heart space like? Divye. It is brilliant, shining. It is divine. It is something that cannot be experienced by any of our instruments. It does not need any instrument because it itself is self-luminous. That Divye, Brahmapure, Vyomni, in that heart space which is shining forth, Esha Atma Pratishtitaha, this self dwells there. Again, dwells there means is available for recognition. And available for recognition as I. So that's where this self is, and available for recognition as I, Vyomni Atma Pratishtitaha. And how is he? How is that Brahman? He is staying in the heart space. Okay. And what does he do? And how is he? How is he staying there? He is saying Manomaya. He is staying there with the mind. Oh, with the mind he is staying. Yes. How is he staying there with the mind? Very beautiful example given in various other texts also. That when we have a bucket of water and it is kept outside and the reflection of the sun falls in the water of the bucket. Now, this same analogy, if we consider for our own self, this physical body is like the bucket, and the subtle body or the mind is like the waters. Now, if the bucket is empty, the sunlight is falling on the bucket, but there is no reflection. Where will the reflection be possible? Only in water. But water by itself, it has to stand somewhere. So therefore it needs a bucket also. Similarly, in the physical body, there is this subtle body or the mind, and in the mind is that reflection of consciousness. So as though that consciousness is living with the mind, but is the identity of reflection any independent identity? The reflection is not an identity by itself. We cannot say it is existing without the sun. We cannot even say it is existing away from the sun. But it seems to be away. It seems to be that sun is up in the sky and the reflection is in the water on earth. We feel that it is so far. But actually, there is no such identity as reflection free of the sun. So this Manomaya, when we say, this self is with the mind, as though with the mind, as the reflection. But actually, the sun is not limited by the bucket, the water, or the reflection. Doesn't matter to it. But it seems to be that the sun has come down and is living with the water. Now that is why in olden days, even in movies and all, they have shown that the child typically at night he looks at the sky and says, I want the moon, I want the moon. He's fascinated by the moon. And then the elders of the home say, yes, yes, we will get you the moon. And then they'll take a trough and then fill water and then take it to the terrace and then take the child there. See, I got you the moon. Oh, the moon is there. We have got the moon. I want to sleep with the moon. And tomorrow morning, I want to take the moon to the school. Tomorrow morning, it will not come. Now only little bit you want to play, play. If the child starts playing violently and goes into the water and starts splashing, gone. Moon is broken. Oh, moon is broken, starts crying. Then no, sit down. Close your eyes and pray. That may moon be, it is broken. Now let the pieces join and may moon come back to its original health. Just peacefully sit down and pray. Close your eyes. Okay, pray. After some time, look at it. Hey, moon has recovered. It was broken. Now it is fine. Back to. It is all the play of water. We feel that the moon has come there. But actually, moon is independent, unaffected by whatever is happening in the trough or the water or the reflection. Nothing. It doesn't get affected by anything. But from looking at it from our perspective, it seems as though it has come and it lives with the water and water suddenly has become bright. Similarly, here also, when we say the self is in the heart space and it is with the mind, as though the mind has become brilliant, the mind has got consciousness and sentiency, as though it is like that, and as though the consciousness is endowed with the mind and stays with the mind, as though it is together. But actually, it is beyond all this. Vyomni Atma Pratishtitaha Manomayaha. And being with the mind in the form of that reflection. That reflection of consciousness is called ego. That is called the jiva. So this, as the reflection endowed with the mind, what does this consciousness do? Prana Sharira Neta. It leads. It leads what? The pranas. Not only the pranas, senses, the entire subtle body. As the reflection. Sitting in the waters of the mind. What does it do? Everything that is there associated with the water, it is leading it. Leading it where? From where to where? The Sharira. Means from one gross body to another. That migration also happens with the consciousness. Otherwise, if there is no sentiency, there is no reflected consciousness, there is no ego, the migration from one body to another also cannot happen. So, prana sharira neta. So, endowed with the mind as though, and the mind endowed with the reflection of consciousness is going from one body to another. It is like when you have a bucket of water with the reflection of the sun, and then you lift the bucket and pour all the water into the other bucket. What will happen? The reflection goes to that bucket. Because wherever the water goes, reflection is there. You put 100 buckets, there will be, and with filled with water, there will be 100 reflections seen. In each bucket, we can see a reflection. So, this is how Prana Sharira Neta, it is that consciousness with the mind leads the prana, senses, etc., the entire subtle body, and moves from body to body. That also, as a reflection, it moves. As consciousness, it is not moving anywhere. You have to remember that. The sun does not move from pot to pot or bucket to bucket. The sun is as it is. The reflection seems to be moving from bucket to bucket. Wherever the water is poured, there all it seems to be moving. Similarly, here also the consciousness available for experience in the heart space with the mind as the reflection takes the entire subtle body and as though moves to the next body, which is called as death and another birth. So this is how it is happening, and as a reflection it is moving there. But we know reflection, the real identity of the reflection is the sun. So Manomaya Prana Sharira Neta Pratishtitah Anne. Where does it live? Anne, in food. It lives in food. Where did this food come from? This gross body is called food, which we just saw. That is a glory. That all food eaten is the gross part of the food has become this body. All these different parts of the body are made up of food only. And that is why when the body doesn't feel healthy, in other than taking medicine, food is also to be regulated. Why? Because that is what is affecting the body. So, what is this body actually? Modification of food only. All the food that has been eaten, it is modified into this. So that is why we say that, you have iron deficiency. So what to do? You have those kind of vegetables which is high in iron content. Which means what? Where is the iron deficiency? Here in my body. And the food, if it has sufficient iron, and when I consume it, then it is converted into this body. Means what? Food is only modified as this body. And if we want to understand in another way, this body, when we are walking here and there are so many organisms in the earth. They are looking at us and says, this is our food. It will come to us eventually. They will patiently wait. One day we will be eating. Is our food going? That's what it is. Even while we are alive, so many organisms are already eating from outside, inside. Eating is going on continuously. We don't know. But this is food only. So we are constantly feeding people. People means these jivas, small. So, anne pratishtitah is living in the body, but where? Hridayam sannidhaya. In the previous line, what was called as Brahmapura, Vyomni, heart space, the city of Brahman. That is what here it is said as Hridayam sannidhaya. In centered in the heart, it is living, it is established in the body, the modification of food. That is how it is sitting. Oh, so it is seated in the body and it's specific. For example, if we say that, where do you live? We live in Singapore. But where exactly? Where is your house? So then we give an address. This is my house. Similarly, lives in the body. But where exactly? In the heart. Hridayam sannidhaya. So this way, this supreme consciousness, the one who is actually functioning in and through everything, because of him all these functions are possible. And he is staying there in the heart space, available for recognition. This is to be known, already said in the previous verse. And here the Guru says, Tad vijnanena paripashyanti dhiraha. Dhiraha, those wise people, they paripashyanti, they are able to experience this self. Paripashyanti means in every way they are able to experience. Paritah pashyanti. How are they able to experience? Tad vijnanena. By properly knowing it. Yeah, vijnanena means what? Vijnanena means by following the disciplines that are required, having all the qualities of a fit student, going to the Guru, studying the scriptures under the Guru, following, listening to whatever he says, and reflecting upon all those thoughts and contemplating upon that, one experiences that. Tad vijnanena, by this clear knowledge, paripashyanti, one starts experiencing this. But who is that? Dhiraha. Dhiraha, one endowed with discrimination, clarity of thought, purity of mind. Such a person only can see. And it is given here in plural. Plural means it is available. Many people have attained this, which means we also can do it. That is what it means. Some places the words are given in singular. That is to indicate that it is very rare, few only who have attained it. So there, the value of that knowledge is to be understood. That is very difficult, very rare, few have attained it. So there, that is to establish the value. And here, when it is given in plural, we have to understand here the scripture is encouraging us and saying many have experienced this. Means you also can get up, walk. So dhiraha parivashyanti tad vijnanena. With that clear knowledge, the great people and people of reflection and contemplation have seen it, are seeing it. And what are they seeing it? Ananda Rupam. That which is of the nature of bliss. Ananda Rupam. Amritam. Immortality. That immortal, blissful self they are seeing. Oh, they are seeing that I am not able to see what to do. Oh, their self must be easy to see. Myself is not very easy to see. There is only one self. And or how is it? Yad vibhati. It is always shining. Shining means it is self-luminous. So we don't need any other instrument. It is not somewhere in the, even if it is kept in some dark place also, it will glow. Having its own light to glow. So then we should not imagine that there is self and it is inside the heart, and then somebody, some cardiac surgeon does an open heart surgery and suddenly it will start shining. Give me shades, you give me glasses, dark glasses, it is too bright. This self, it is not like that. Vibhati means we don't need any instrument like the eyes or the mind to see it. It is self-luminous. You don't need any torch, some flashlight or something. Nothing required. It is ever experienced. And the best example based on our experience for this is that if something in the room, a dark room is there, and something has to be found, that is there, that Mundakopanishad book is there. So then we have to say, well, let me turn on the light, and it is there on the table. We say that. But if somebody asks, are you there in that room? We don't have to say, let me turn on the light. Then I will see in the mirror, I am there. We don't need. Why? Self-luminous. The luminance is not in terms of the physical light. I know. Is that consciousness? which does not need any other support to know. Yad vibhati, it shines forth. And as a result of this knowledge, what happens? What is the uh, result of this result of knowledge? And the point is, result of knowledge is we stop thinking about results. But still, we have to be told, no, when you get this knowledge, this is what will happen. Now, what will happen, really speaking, we will have to experience it only, because otherwise it's just words, because the experience is beyond all the instruments of experiences. It is not experienced as an object, it is not something that we are familiar with. It is me, myself, meeting myself after a long time as though. So it is a very new experience which we cannot say it is there, or it can be described or something. But still, the compassion of the scriptures, compassion of the masters, that they say this is what is the outcome. When you get this knowledge, what will happen? Oh, what will happen? Very popular mantra. This is the next one, the eighth one. भिद्यते हृदय ग्रंथिः हृदय ग्रंथिः छिद्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः छिद्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे तस्मिन् दृष्टे Tasmin drishte paravare. When that supreme Brahman is drishte, means seen. Seen means not with the eyes, but experienced as it is me. When that supreme Brahman is experienced as me, myself, direct experience when that takes place. And what is that? Paravare. Paravare means in as the supreme attributeless Brahman when it is experienced, or as the manifest world, that is also that Brahman only. And this we have seen so many different ways. It has been indicated that from that Purusha only all this has come. And from that it has come means it has not come something independently. That Purusha only is manifesting as all this. So, para means knowing it as something that is transcendental. And avara means that knowing which is immanent. So that which is beyond the manifestations and that which is in the form of these manifestations. Tasmin drishte paravare. Para and avara, both ways when it is recognized, means what was indicated in the previous mantras as knowing the self in me is the self in all. In this way, when this supreme reality is recognized, tasmin drishte paravare, when one experiences directly this supreme self as me, as I, what happens? Three things are indicated. Bhidyate hridaya granthi. Hridaya granthi means knots of the heart. Oh, heart, there are knots also. Yeah, there are knots. What are these knots? So it is said, knots of the heart is a technical term in Vedanta. So what are the knots? They are not literal knots. So these knots are said to be the cause of all this transmigration and suffering is that cause, root cause is ignorance. So that is the first knot. Then because of ignorance, I do not know that I am complete in myself. I do not know I am the infinite blissful self, and therefore I am looking for things or any experience to fulfill me. So that is what is what? Desires. So because of ignorance only, there are desires. So this desire is the second knot. And when there is a desire, we cannot sit quietly. We have to act. That action, karma, is the third knot. So ignorance, avidya, desire, kama, and action, karma. These three are called the three knots of the heart. It is because of these three that a jiva is suffering, is traveling through bodies, through different births. This is the main reason. So why was that jiva born again? Because of karma. Why did he do karma? Because he had desires. Why did he have desire? Because he was ignorant. So this hridaya granthi, the knots of the heart, avidya, kama, karma, what happens to it? Bhidyate. It is cut asunder. Gurudev has also given the meaning untied. But we all know very well that if there is a knot and if it is tight, to untie it is very difficult. So, bhidyate, cut. So, all these knots means what? Ignorance is gone. When ignorance is gone, I know I am complete in myself. Then, what desire? There is no further desire. And if there is no desire, no action. Vidyate hridaya granthi. Chidyante sarva samshayaha. All doubts are dispelled. So many doubts. Doubts can be there about all these scriptures are saying Brahman, Brahman, Brahman. Is it really there? Or is it just a theory? And we are all wasting our time thinking, Brahman, there is one Brahman which is beyond, beyond intellect. Who has seen? How do we know whether we will get or not? Such doubts also come. And not for beginners. Beginners will not have such doubts. Such doubts will come after 20 years of listening to Vedanta. Suddenly one day, is this reality? Is anything like that there? Really? Suddenly, samshaya. And such doubts will remain till the direct experience happens. Once that experience has happened, where is the doubt? Then even if somebody says there is nothing called self, we say, okay, I pity you. Go. Because I know it, I have experienced it, I am experiencing it, I am seeing it right now. What doubt will I have? Sarva samshayaha chidyante. All doubts are dispelled forever. And kshiyante cha asya karmani. All actions are as though burnt up. Gurudev used to give this example that all our karma phalas are like seeds. In seed form they are there. And any time they can germinate into a tree of life. So we have to take so many different births. But with the fire of knowledge, all these seeds of countless lifetimes are roasted. And when they are roasted, then they cannot germinate. They cannot produce any result. Over. Kshiyante cha asya karmani. All karma. Yes, there is one exception. What is that exception? The karma which has given rise to this birth and started giving results, which is called prarabdha karma. So the one which has started giving results in this lifetime, that will continue till it gets exhausted. For this also Puja Gurudev gives this beautiful example that when we turn on the fan, it is moving with the power of the electricity. When we turn it off, the electrical power is no more being supplied. So it is cut off. But the fan still keeps moving. Based on what? Already that movement was begun. So it will not abruptly end. It will still keep moving till that momentum is there and all the energy that was there, that was brought into the fan, when it is all exhausted, it will stop. Similarly, this prarabdha karma, the one which has started giving results in this form of life, they till that get exhausted, it will remain. After that, that also gets destroyed. But as far as the person of knowledge is concerned, for that person, even that karma does not affect. There is no destiny for a jnani. Someone who is a person of knowledge, there is no nothing that will affect him as no, I have done this karma and I am free, that I is not there. But other binding karmas, etc., all those results, everything is destroyed. So, all knots of the heart gone, all doubts gone, and all karma and its effects. Effects means millions of lifetime, everything gone. Then this person doesn't have to come back again. All destroyed. All causes of birth, suffering, all this is ended once and for all. No bondage whatsoever. Tasmin drishte paravare. This knowledge, this experience happens, and this is the result promised. Vidyate hridaya grantihi, छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः, क्षीयन्ते च अस्य कर्माणि, तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे. We can even learn this mantra, memorize this. This will constantly inspire us also. That this is the goal of my life. And this is what is the gain after that. And if we look at it, these three things, is there a gain? All these are losses. We will lose ignorance, we will lose desire, we will lose karma, we will lose everything. That's why Puja Gurudev once said, what will a worker or a volunteer get from Jimna mission? So he has written a very beautiful paragraph. He says, you will not get anything. Rather, you will lose a lot of things by coming to Jimna mission. And that is what is the promise of the scriptures also. You will lose everything that is causing suffering, sorrow, bondage. And what remains? That already I am. This is the beauty of knowledge. All this, we are completely deburdened. Tasmin drishte parav. For a few minutes, let's sit down silently. Focus your attention in the center of the chest, a little to the right of the pumping heart. Visualize a beautiful lotus in that heart. In that lotus heart is the self available for recognition. In that lotus heart, this feeling of I is not a thought, it is the experience of I that takes place in the central chest. The mind wanders, bring it back with understanding that even the wandering of the mind cannot happen without the reflected consciousness. Shift the attention from the objects of the mind to the mind, to the reflected consciousness in the mind. I am the witness of all the activities of the mind and the senses. This I thought is also a reflection in the mind. I am beyond this I thought also. पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ